Hey, happy Monday. Hey, I know that it's Memorial Day, and to be honest, I almost didn't do the live today, but I decided that I wanted to jump in and just really commemorate this day. I know a lot of you are probably out camping or fishing or on vacation or maybe on staycation, and that's awesome. And I hope you guys are having the best time. But I want to take just a moment to really honor the sacrifice of those who gave their life in service. Because of their sacrifice, that's the reason we enjoy the security, the freedom, the prosperity that we have. And here's the thing, I know that most of you probably already know this, but it's like that old saying, most people need to be reminded more than they need to be educated. So I'm just acting as a reminder service today to really think about the honor and honor the sacrifice that our service members gave, the ultimate sacrifice. The US is one of the wealthiest nations in the world, but our success and our abundance was not cheap. And I also want to take a moment to really honor the families of these fallen heroes. If you have someone if you have someone in your family that's given their life, who's given the ultimate sacrifice for all of us, you have sacrificed almost as much as they have. And I want to thank you for your courage and your strength. If you're watching this and you know someone or you have someone in your family that's done that, I want to honor you too. Because sometimes it's harder to be the ones left behind. Sometimes it's harder to be the ones that are left picking up the broken pieces. And I want to honor you for that. You have an amazing courage. You have an amazing strength to keep moving forward no matter what happens. And I don't take that lightly. And I hope nobody takes that lightly. It is not obviously trivial to have a loss and a dramatic type of loss like that. But I want to just say thank you. And their sacrifice was not in vain. We have an amazing country, at least the way we stand right now. And we couldn't have this without the sacrifice. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. The selfless service of the men and women that have given that ultimate sacrifice, to me, that's the ultimate measure of love. The good book says that greater love has no one than this, that they lay down their life for a friend. So that is really the ultimate act of love, is laying down your life for your friend, for your countrymen, for your neighbors. And it's a really big deal. And I just want to say that a lot of times we just glaze over the holiday. We think of it as our 3-day weekend, or, if you took off Friday, you get a 4-day weekend, and we think of it that way. And that's amazing. I'm not downplaying that. I think that we should enjoy the freedoms that we have. I really do. But I just want to encourage you to take a moment today to really remember and to really reflect and honor that sacrifice. And I want to honor the amazing people and their families. So from me to you, thank you. And to those of us still here, I think that this is a really powerful opportunity to really talk about what true service means. And I mean the kind of service where you really give without expecting anything in return. I mean, just give because it's the right thing to do, not because you're trying to get something back. And I know that we are in this day and age where we talk about how everything needs to be me first. We need to go after our goals first. And that's all very important. Don't get me wrong. But when you get to a point of true service where you're truly giving without expecting anything in return, it all changes. I want to share a quick story with you that I found, and I don't know these people personally, but I've been reading some stories leading up to Memorial Day of people that have given their life, have really given that ultimate sacrifice. And I know there's thousands, probably tens of thousands, even millions of stories. I mean, obviously there's millions of stories of service members who have given their life for the cause. And so this is just one of millions. But I thought this one was very fitting for this theme of service because there's two prongs here. So let me tell you the story. So Michael Simpson, he was a Army Green Beret, U.S. Army Green Beret, and he was a father and a husband. He had two boys. And in April 2013, he was serving in Afghanistan. And I think the story goes that there was a makeshift explosive or something, and it went off, and eventually he's critically injured, and then later he passed away. And he left his, still had his wife and his two sons that he left behind. And just thinking about this just really, really got to me, because it got to me thinking, like, what would happen to my wife and my kids if something happened to me? But the story doesn't end there. That's the amazing part. His wife, Krista, she was basically just surrounded by all these people and support, and all of these people that gave to her and helped her grieve and helped her financially and helped her with all of these different aspects of her life. And a lot of that was the military community. A lot of that was his brothers in arms that have reached out and helped her boys. And so during this time of grief, she was able to have other people to support her. And here's the amazing thing that happened. Out of that, she realized that she had something that other people don't usually have, or a lot of people don't have. They don't have that support like she did. She happened to be in that situation where her husband and her had a lot of really deep friends, and they were able to really support her and really build her up. And she realized that not everyone has that. And so she actually started a movement. I think she's got a foundation. It's called I forget what it's called. I'll have to look it up. But she started this foundation, and she started to help people, and she started to give that same support to other families that had lost loved ones who had heroes that died in the line of duty. And she built this to honor Michael's legacy, to start serving other people in that totally selfless service aspect. And I thought that was so deep and so touching, because she could have just, wallowed. And most of us probably do. And I'm not downplaying the grief. I know grief is extremely real. But the fact that she was able to take her pain and take the sacrifice and honor her husband, honor her boy's father, and build this into something amazing in his honor, and help other people at the same time, that is what true service is about. It's not about not being in pain. It's not about getting something back. It's about using the pain to drive you forward. It's about using those trials. It's about using those situations to push you forward and to give you the fuel. My coach says, instead of being the anchor that holds you back, it's the wind in your sails that pushes you forward. And she's built an amazing support group to help people in this exact situation that she was in. So I thought that was incredibly moving, incredibly powerful. In this society of this personal achievement, I think that this serving without expecting in return, I think has started to become, a bit of a lost art form. But I think that this true and ultimate goal in life is to serve others. When you start to come from a place of contribution, instead of thinking what's in it for me, you start thinking about what can I do for others? How can I serve others? It changes everything. I remember my dad used to do this all the time when I was growing up. And he was always helping others, always looking for for opportunities to help others. And he was never looked for anything in return. He never even asked for recognition. In fact, he did this so much that it actually started to annoy me sometimes. And if you're watching this, I love you. But there was times when it was like, why does he keep doing this? When someone is doing so much for other people, you just feel like they're getting taken advantage of. That's kind of how I felt. And I realize now that that's not what it was at all. That he was always willing to contribute and be that servant and be the person that always helped without expecting anything in return. And here's the thing: people will tell you to put your own interests first. They're going to tell you only work on you, but that's not where the ultimate goal in life is to give back. Tony Robbins says that contribution is the primary spiritual human need. When you serve others, it creates character and it leads to this intense personal development and intense growth in yourself when you serve others. And true fulfillment and success comes from that service. That's where it all comes from. We're all chasing the next achievement. We're all chasing the next thing. But when it really comes down to it, success and fulfillment comes down to serving other people and finding ways to contribute, finding ways to use your gifts and your talents to help other people, to use your pain to help other people. I do that a lot, not to toot my own horn, but I do that a lot in my own life because I've been through an immense emotional pain with my son being on the brink of death, to be honest. And I've learned and I've grown from that intense pain, and I've been able to use that to help others. So I just want to encourage you this week, as you're going camping, as you're going on vacation, or you're staying home on a long weekend, I want to honor you for enjoying our freedoms. But at the same time, I want to encourage you to look for ways to truly serve others this week, to honor the sacrifice of those who made that ultimate sacrifice. And think outside the box if you have to. Find someone to serve. And preferably, here's the thing that will change you forever. Find someone who has no hope of repaying you. Whether it's a homeless person or it's someone that that really needs help and that there's no way they're going to be able to pay back. When you're doing that, you're not doing it for a return. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. And when you serve from a place of contribution, when you serve from a place of giving instead of trying to get back, that's the true essence of contribution. So go find someone today to serve. Go find someone to help, especially someone who can't give it back. Happy Memorial Day. I hope everyone has an amazing holiday. I'll see you next week.